Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear learners, how are you? I think all of you are fine and safe at home. After a long time, I have just come in front of you just to discuss new topic. Okay, here just I have decided to conduct a class on tech question. Here just I have written five problems. Okay, that must be solved within few minutes. Dear learners, you can see that here are five sentences. Okay, first one is we are a brave nation, and second one is nobody believes a liar. Third one is let us learn English. Number four is Harun is not a dishonest boy, and number fifth is nothing comes out nothing. Okay, so here you can see five problems. And at first, I want to discuss what is tech question. Okay, you know that tech question is one kind of question. If you want to make a tech question, you have to know some rules of making a tech. So at first, you have to identify auxiliary verbs of the given statement. Okay, you can see that here are five problems, five sentences. At first, if you want to make a tech question, you have to identify or you have to figure out your word. Okay, auxiliary verbs. So what are auxiliary verbs? Okay, you know that there are a lot of auxiliary verbs here. At first, I want to make you introduce to some auxiliary verbs. You can see that am, is, are, okay, was, where, will be or shall be, can, could, may, might, shall, should. Okay, or do, does, did, have, has, had. Okay, these are auxiliary verbs. If you find any kind of auxiliary from among these five sentences, okay, if you find any auxiliary verb, then you need not find out any auxiliary verb. If you don't find any auxiliary verb, then you have to figure out main verb. Okay, so how can you identify main verb? After any kind of subject, you will have a main verb. Okay, or if you find cs or ed at the end of any word, that must be what auxiliary main verb to some extent. Okay, so let's come to our discussion. Here you can see that we are a brave nation. Okay, at first your first duty is to find out auxiliary verb. If you find an auxiliary verb, okay, then you have to, if the statement is positive, you have to make it negative, or if the given statement or sentence is negative, you have to make it positive. Number second one is, and the last one is, you have to you have to always look for the subject of the given statement. If the subject is noun, okay, or if the subject is pronoun, when the subject is noun, okay, you cannot bring it at the end of the tech question, because in terms of making tech question, you have to use now a pronoun instead of noun. Okay, what is noun? We know that the name of anything, may be a noun. Okay, the name of a person, subject, object. Okay, that is noun. And what is pronoun? What is used instead of noun, that is called pronoun. Okay, you can see that I, we, you, he, she, they, it. These are pronouns. Okay, and you have to use pronoun in terms of making the question. Okay, you can see that we. We is a pronoun. We is a pronoun. Okay, so we can see that the given statement is, okay, we find here that the auxiliary is are. Okay, so the statement is, you can see that the statement is positive. They have to make it negative. So are not. What is the short form or contraction is are not. That means aren't. Aren't. Okay, short form is aren't. Okay, what is subject? We. So we is a subject and we is in a word form of pronoun. Okay, then you have to use we. So aren't we? The answer is aren't we. So come to number second question. Second number. Nobody believes a liar. Best. Okay, it's a very nice sentence. Nobody believes a liar. At first, you have to find an auxiliary verb. Here you can see that there is no auxiliary verb in this second statement or second sentence. Okay, so when you don't find any auxiliary verb, they have to look for main verb. How can I just identify main verb? Okay, after subject we'll have main verb, or after subject, or if you find ss or ed at the end of the word, that is verb. You can see that believes is a word verb, because there's a ss at the end of the word, and it believes okay, believes okay, this word comes after nobody, that means nobody subject. Okay, so after subject you will have verb, so believes is a verb. Okay, if you don't find any kind of auxiliary verb, then you have a right to bring three auxiliary verbs. What are they? Do, does, did. If you find any auxiliary verb, there is no problem. But if you don't find any kind of auxiliary verb, then you have to bring three auxiliary verb. Okay, that these auxiliary verbs are do, does, did. If you find SES at the end of the verb, you have to take does. If you find ed at the end of the verb, you have to take did. Or if you don't find any SES or ed at the end of the verb, or if you find present form of the verb, simple form of the verb, then you should bring or take do. Okay, you can see that there is a does, because there is a s or yes at the end of the word, and at the end of the verb you should bring does. Okay, fine. But nobody is a noun. It should bring or take pronoun. What is the pronoun of nobody? They. Okay, so this statement is negative because nobody. So if the statement is negative, to make it positive, so does is a positive form. Okay, and for nobody there will be what, they. Okay, fine. And at the end of the sentence there will be question mark. Okay, so you have to think one thing, that is, you have used they pronoun instead of noun nobody. Okay, but you have found as is at the end of the verb, that means you have to bring does. Okay, but doesn't go with nobody, they. This doesn't go with pronoun they, so you have to use just do. Okay, do they. Okay, so the answer will be do they. Do they. Okay, fine. Last, come to the number 3. Let us learn English. You can see that let us or let's both are same, because let us or let's is the short form or contraction of let us. Okay, let us or let's both are same. So when you find any let us or let's with any verb, okay, so this is imperative sentence. This is an imperative sentence. Whenever you find let us or let's, you just think, you just give the answer with shall we. Shall, okay, or put question mark at the end of the sentence. Okay, if you find let us or let's, you shouldn't just look for or ponder over just any auxiliary verb to find auxiliary verb or make the sentence positive. If you find sentence positive, then you have to make it negative. You shouldn't think over. Okay, you should just ponder over this matter. You shouldn't ponder over this matter. You should just think that if I find let us or let's, I should just put shall we or bring shall we as a tag, or tag question. So shall we, you have to put question mark at the end of the sentence. Hassan is not a honest boy, dishonest boy. Okay, you can see that here is auxiliary verb. This is an auxiliary verb, and there is the statement is negative. So if you find negative, you have to make it positive. So the answer will be isn't. Okay, is. As the statement is negative, you have to make it positive. Is, what is the subject? Harun. Okay, Harun will just come here, but Harun is a noun. So you shouldn't have any right to use noun in making tag question. You have to use noun form of this Harun. So Harun is a boy. The name of is a boy. Okay, Harun is the name of a boy. So you have to just bring or take pronoun he, is he, and put question at the end of the sentence. Okay. Nothing comes out nothing. Okay, you can see that here. Nothing comes out nothing. In this statement, we don't have any kind of, or we have no, okay, auxiliary verb. So I have discussed a bit earlier that if you don't find an auxiliary verb, you should go for okay, finding out or figuring out word, main verb. So how can I get main verb? How can I okay, identify main verb? If you find a cs or ed at the end of the verb, end of the sentence, word. If you find s or yes or ed at the end of the word, or if you find a word after subject, that must be counted verb for some extent. Okay, so you can see that every sentence starts with what? Subject. So nothing is subject. Okay, subject plus verb plus object. Okay, nothing is subject. So this is verb because this comes after nothing. This comes word comes after nothing. Okay, nothing is the subject, so is verb. Or you can see that, you can see that there is a what there is s at the end of the word. This come, so this is verb. So if you find ses at the end of the word as a verb, you should just take auxiliary verb does. Okay, you can see that this statement is negative because of nothing. Okay, so if the statement is negative, you have to make it positive. Okay, does. What is the noun or pronoun of this nothing? The pronoun of this nothing is it. So the answer will be does it. Okay, put question mark at the end of the sentence. So dear learners, I think all of you have understood. Okay, so I have just tried my best to make you understand what is tag question, what is the use of making tag question. Okay, so I think if you understand these sentences, it will help you to make tag question in future. So in our next class, we will discuss okay new topic. Until then, Allah Hafiz.